We are going to get started and people will continue to flow in as we go. Some new faces here. So, welcome or welcome back to another EMC Monday Mastermind call. We're Every Move Collective. Today, we're going to be talking about building a repeatable daily workflow behind building predictable revenue in real estate with our guest, Vincent. So before I go on to introduce him, just a little reminder of who we are. So myself, my mom Eva, my brother Dylan on the call. We run a top producing team out of Westchester County, New York, Connecticut, and Los Angeles. We also run Every Move Collective, our organization at EXP, which brings you these bi-monthly masterminds, just really a space to learn, network, and be in community. We do them on the second and fourth Monday of every month, but we haven't told anyone this, so this is a little bit of a spoiler alert. You're the first to know we're going to be expanding these calls to weekly soon, so stay tuned for this announcement. We're just going to be trying to build more of a regular cadence so that people can be here every week with us. If you wouldn't mind chiming in the chat and letting us know where you're tuning in from, that would be awesome. So we encourage you to be as conversational as possible as well. Like I said, I do see some new faces here, so please feel free to use the chat, raise your hand, jump in and ask questions. If you're able to turn your cameras on, we definitely appreciate it. So Vincent Koo is a team leader, mega icon team leader with EXP. He has over 2 decades of real estate experience. He's owned and operated three award-winning brokerages in the New York City area, Manhattan, Queens, Long Island, and his team lists and sells all over. He is a five-time Icon Award recipient, which means he's doing the top of the top production at our company. So we have a lot to learn from you. We're excited to hear from you today. And I will hand over the mic to you and let you get started.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Excited to be here. Excited to share some of the things that I have for you today. And we're just going to jump right into it. So we're going to talk about just winning our day every single day. And we know as agents, we're super busy, right? We're busy showing homes, searching for properties, scheduling appointments, doing our open houses, tending to our clients, and posting on social media, closing deals, but our days could fly by, and sometimes we don't feel like we're actually accomplishing anything. So I'm going to show you today how to really uh, get through the day and really progress towards your goal. So no matter how productive you already are, I bet you we could find some additional opportunities here. Okay. So I think we're all standing on a gold mine. And the issue that I have or that I see is that half the agents out there don't bother digging at all. And the ones that do dig down like 2 feet, get tired, and walk away. When the gold is like 3 feet, 5 feet, or 20 feet down, it's definitely there. So, we've all heard that the fortune's in the follow-up, and this is probably one of the most impactful slides that I've seen as an agent because it explains why agents feel like their pipeline is dry. Like I need a new lead source. And the issue isn't really leads, it's the lack of a system of follow-up. So we might stop following up or stop digging because you know we're we think that they're not interested or they're going to call us or I don't want to bother them. But in reality, they're just busy, they're distracted, they're not ready. Right? So real estate, it's kind of a timing thing. And it's not just persuasion. Our job isn't to go out there and just hit people over the head and convince them. Our job is to stay in relationship till the timing is right, right? And Colby went through my little bio. It's been 26 years now. I've held a lot of these different roles: agent, manager, broker owner, team lead. I run the alliance team at EXP now. I'm certified mentor. I'm a success certified coach. I've achieve icon 5 times going on six. I'm also partners with a fantastic company called Place. Okay. And they help me kind of uh, create this amazing system for my team to follow. So I think that for a lot of us agents, is that the issue is that our leads are abandoned, sadly, because we don't have this approach for creating opportunities and we let these opportunities fall through the cracks. So the solution really is a prioritized, proven, repeatable, data-driven routine that focuses our time on the activities that generate results, that keeps us organized and really ensures that we capture every lead and that we convert it into business. So I'm going to give you this routine. It should run you 2 hours. I say it should run you an hour and a half. I extend it to two, but if you get this set up right, an hour and a half and you're done. So imagine just getting all the important stuff done before lunch every day. So I have a couple of assumptions. I wrote down assumptions, but they're really requirements. Okay. The first requirement is I need you to use your CRM to run your business, not a notebook, not a spreadsheet, not your phone contacts, not your memory, but a CRM, right? Because it's not about relationships anymore. It's about managing hundreds or thousands of relationships at a time. The second thing that I'm going to require is that you categorize your leads into the proper statuses and stages, meaning you know the difference between somebody that is planning to buy now or sell now, somebody that has a timeline of 6 months, or somebody that's curious a year or more out. Because if we let every lead sit in the same bucket, our follow-up just becomes random instead of strategic. So run your business entirely on a CRM and get everyone in the right status and stage. So I'm going to review with you the lead statuses that we use. And the status is pretty much when they're going to transact. So it's pretty much like a priority label. Helps you decide how much attention each lead should get. And every CRM has these. Doesn't matter which one you're using. They might label them differently. Hot, warm, cold, A, B, C. The ones we use are new, unqualified, hot, nurture, watch, pending, pass, inactive, archive, and trash. But think about it this way. It's like a hospital triage system. The urgent cases go first. The ones that are stable, the stable patients, they wait, but nobody gets ignored. So that's the goal that we want for our CRM too, is nobody gets ignored. Then let's
Vincent,
take a, yeah,
just a quick question. Where do you put people that are repeat customers?
I would put them in past clients.
So you're actively working your past clients in a way that keeps them
Absolutely.
alive.
Yeah. So I have that. That's it's going to be coming up in the next few slides, but past clients are probably like the easiest, form of business. They already know your work, right? They know how amazing you are. So it's a shame that we just let those slide. So
Well,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that's probably true. I don't if you're going to get to it, I'll shut up. But one of the things that kills me is if I have a really a loyal client who texts me last week to tell me that yeah they're buying something in Philadelphia and they love me here and clearly
Right.
I didn't tell them where else I could be, right?
And it happens to all of us. And it's not like a reflection of how amazing we are as agents. It's just there's too much to handle. We're so focused on the person that just gave us a call that we forget all the work that we did before for this past client. So you have to kind of build that into the system. So if we have the proper status and if we get the right stage, and the stage is pipeline, okay? It's where they are in the sales pipeline. It's the progress marker. So think of it like from first contact to closing, what stages are there? So we have new lead, attempted contact, spoke to customer, appointment set, met with customer, showing homes, submitting offers under contract, then closed. Then we've got longer term stuff like nurture and rejected leads. It's where we throw some of our spam and people that are way out there. But before we get into all that we're going to do in a day, we need to have like a pre-game ritual, right? Just like an athlete doesn't just jump onto the field, you as an agent, you don't just wake up and jump on the phone, right? So a few things you want to do first. First part is your mental prep. Whatever you have on your desk, just clear it all off. Okay? Clear it all off, clear your workspace, get focused, get hydrated, and think to yourself, hey, the next 2 hours, these are my money-making hours, right? Set your intention. Is your intention going to be, I'm going to set 3 appointments today? Or, um, or I don't know, I'm going to find that gold in my database. Or if you don't have an intention, just go with gratitude. That works all the time, right? Because that creates that abundance and more good things happen. Second thing that we do before we hit those phones is our market awareness. So this is where we review everything that came on the market in the last 24 hours, right? Keeps you sharp in your conversation. It gives you something relevant to talk about with your clients. And in our CRM system, we have this cool thing where we're able to take a look at the new and the coming soon listings for any area, right? We could boil it down to a city or, I usually leave it as the county. But what it also does is it reverse prospects our database. So the coming soon listings, the new listings, we're able to see how many people in our database this property could potentially qualify for. And you click a button and you could email all of them at the same time. Individual emails will go out, but the message is simple, right? Here's a listing that I think you might like. If you want to schedule a showing, have any questions, give me a call or text me at this number. And so we just sprinkle that out there every morning, and we'll get the calls that come back. We'll get the texts that come back. Okay. From there, you want to make sure that all the leads that you have been captured. Okay. Some things will go direct into your CRM, but then you're going to meet somebody at a networking event. You're going to bump into somebody at an open house that didn't sign in through your app or whatever. And this is the opportunity to make sure that everybody is in. Okay. Because, leads that live on a piece of paper, they're going to die on a piece of paper. So, I find this part to be one of the hardest things to do as an agent is to decide like completely, I'm going to get everything in and I'm going to manage everything through here. Then the next thing we do is we jump into AI practice calls. Okay. If you have the opportunity to get somebody live, I find that with role play, it's tough because it's always like, oh, I'm busy, I got to drop off the kids, or yeah, I'm late, and you just miss it, or you small talk the entire time. So we have this AI practice call system
has the solution.
where we're able to go in
and use
and
the keyword happy
and
legs.
and jump in. Somebody take care of Chris over there. Thanks, Chris. So we're able to go in and get on these different scenarios and practice our rapport building, our discovery, our communication, our objection handling, our close, warms us up and gets us ready. From there, we pay attention to our time-sensitive priorities. And what are our time-sensitive priorities? Obviously, the new leads, okay? Ideally, new lead comes in, you get them right away. And there's this MIT study, it's actually pretty, it's almost unreal. Basically, it says like, if you contact a lead within 5 minutes, it increases your likelihood of qualifying them by 21 times compared to you just waiting half an hour. And after an hour, the odds of contacting them decreases by over 10 times. And the odds of qualifying them decrease by over like 6 times. So speed to lead is a thing. And this category, it's there, but it's really there for those leads that we miss from the time we shut off at night to the time we wake up in the morning. Because all the other ones, you're supposed to take them as they come in. Okay. And if you get any of these new leads, what you want to do is you want to qualify them and use that LP Mama script. I think that LP Mama script is the first script any agent needs to learn. And it's the simplest one, right? It's location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, and appointment. So in a short conversation, I can figure out where they want to buy, what price range they're in, where they're why they're moving, whether they already have an agent, if they're pre-approved, and most importantly, it reminds me to constantly go after the appointment. Next time sensitive activity is your property views. So we've got thousands of listing alerts set up. But the ones that we want to focus on, the ones that we think are time sensitive, are the ones that are viewing properties 3 or more times. Or if they favorite a property. Those two things, if those two things happen, you want to give them a call right away. What you want to do is, find out, hey, what caught your eye about that home?
Vincent, me again. Sorry to interrupt. Quick question. You said earlier something about AI and scripting, and now you're talking about this LP Mama script.
Yeah.
Do you actually put into AI and say, I want to practice this script specifically, and then it'll challenge you?
So our system has different scenarios. So we could pick like a buyer that we met at an open house, or a skeptical expired listing, a for sale by owner, or somebody that's watching rates. We have all of those, but it doesn't matter which scenario it is. You could get into this conversation with them, and the AI will respond and throw out the objections. They'll have different attitudes, different accents, just like your regular calls are going to have.
Okay. Yeah, we saw it demonstrated. I can't think of who did it, Colby. We were at that meeting, but I want to implement it into, the team meetings. And I didn't know how, how you start, like where do you start kind of thing.
Yeah,
I could talk more to you about it another time.
absolutely. It really is fantastic. And our system kind of gamifies things, and it rates you, it shows you if you have a streak, how many days you've done in a row, and where you compare with the other team members. It it is wonderful. And I think it's a huge game changer because the the live role plays, those are helpful, but I don't know. There's always too many variables with getting the other person on the phone and spending that time and all those things,
Yeah, I agree.
right?
Thank you.
So the goal with this is to figure out if we could schedule a private viewing. And if they don't want to, we could always offer, maybe I could send you recent comps or neighborhood details. But that's what we want to do. So after we get all this stuff done, then we start on this priority pyramid of ours. We're going to take a look at what is most important in our database, and we're going to start to handle those things one after the other. The first priority we have are our hot leads. These are people in our database that should be transacting in the next 3 months, right? So this is where your next commission is going to be coming from. So what we want to do is we want to figure out, refresh your memory. What are they looking for? What price range? What neighborhood? And that you get through the notes that you take and the conversations that you had in the past. We also have something where we AI summarize our entire lead. So if I look at a lead that I haven't spoke to in a while, it'll review all the texts, all the emails, all the calls that I've ever had and tell me all of these things. And what I want to do is I don't want to call them and just say, hey, I'm just checking in. Then I sound like just any other agent. And I want to go and have conversations with them that are valuable and specific, right? I reviewed those new listings that came in earlier today. So I could say, hey, a two family just hit the market that's right in your price range. So you're working with them and you're giving them the value that they're looking for. So that's the first part is just review everything, Second part is you want to match listings to their criteria. That's easy to do. We all have our CRMs. We all have the MLS. Okay. So the goal is to really just call with something useful. And with our priority leads, make the call and set the appointment. The goal is the appointment and the representation agreement. Get that representation agreement, get that listing appointment, the listing agreement signed. That's the goal for every single one of your hot leads, the people that are planning to transact with you in the next 3 months. So your database, might have hundreds of people in there, but the business usually comes from about 10 people at a given time. So the other thing that's good is in our CRM, we all have filters. So you're able to set this up so that you only see your hot leads. You could see your entire list, but you could click a filter and only see the hot leads that weren't called in the last 7 days. You have a hot lead, you might want to call them every single day. You want to be on top of them, you want to be in communication, but the maximum time that you're going to let go by is 7 days. So if you have that filter set up, you'll be able to see a rolling list. Last 7 days, did I communicate with them? Did I contact them? Second, the number 2 on the priority pyramid are the hand raisers. The ones that are recently active in your database. Those are the ones that you want to give the attention to. The market report viewers, you should have something that is focused more on the sellers. We all want inventory. We want to control the market. Market report viewers are absolutely fantastic. If you have an email and an address, you're getting one of these. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you valuations from multiple different sites. Adam, Zillow, Home Junction, Remind. It'll give you the values on each of those sites. It'll give you a range. It'll give you the temperature of the market. It'll actually show you listings that are sold, pending, available, right in your area. And we've got I don't know, 8 different call to actions on that market report. So every time they see that, they have an option to say, I think that valuation is too low. I think it's accurate. I think it's too high. I want a CMA. I'm interested in freeing up some equity. I want to buy a second home. All of these things are in there, or I have a question. And anytime they click one of those, they become a priority. Then you've got your recent website visitors, right? Those that have been browsing, or those that specifically pause and come back after a 30-day break. So our assumption is if they paused and they're coming back now, something might have changed. And you want to get ahead of that. You want to, give them that call. So they're on your priority list. Another filter within your CRM. This is all very simple if you have it set up properly. And in this section is where you're going to pay attention to your lead ponds as well. So those of you that are part of a team, your team should have a place where all leads are kind of aggregated. These are people that, maybe your team lead pay for leads for a while and you have all these old leads, or it could be a pond of for rent by owners. And if any of them have that automation built in, it creates that loop where it brings them back to your website. And if they interact with your website, those are the people you need to call. Priority 3 is, I think, the most important for your business. And that's your tasks, right? And it's not just like a to-do list. These are promises that you make your people, right? So sales is super simple. All you have to do is make these micro promises and keep them. It increases your credibility score. It lets them think, hey, if they're going to do this for me, they're probably likely going to be able to handle my sale or my purchase. So a big number of overdue tasks, that indicates like pipeline decay, broken promises to clients. So every communication that we have, we want to figure out, is there something that I could promise this client that I could deliver on? Micro prompt, don't have to be huge, right? I'll call you on Friday. Remind yourself, that's your task. And so what we want to do is we want to handle the tasks that are due today. So you hit the promise that you said you're going to hit, and then anything that you had overdue, maybe they weren't like priority. We rank the priority of the task. If there's an actual deadline, then we'll make it number one priority. Obviously, we want to handle those. But it just might be something like, hey, I'm going to follow up with this person at that time, or I'm going to pay attention to what comes on the market. You just want to make sure that you have your tasks all taken care of. And the fourth priority, that's the long game. That's where a lot of people miss, because we're talking about our nurtures, the people that are a little further out, 3 to 12 months. We want our deals right away. And then our watches, the people that are even further out. The point of priority 4 is this is the gold mine. This is where we assume a lot of our leads are dead. After a few missed calls, a few voicemails that we leave. But the data shows that it takes multiple contacts before we actually get in touch with them. Believe it or not, I think we have the data. It says it takes 11 contacts on average to get with somebody on the phone, a lead. So we think, man, if I had a friend and I called them 11 times, they're going to think I'm crazy, right? But again, the leads, it's just timing. They might be busy. They're not thinking about it. And you don't want to give up because you already spent the money to get them into your pipeline. Our unqualifieds. So we all have leads that come in. You call them a few times, they don't answer, and you forget about them, right? Unqualified leads are people that you've already attempted, but you weren't able to get in contact with them to qualify them. So include this into your daily activity because you always want to go after everybody that called. So you need to reattack, you need to follow up, you need to make this a part of your daily. After that, we're going to look at ways to get the easy referrals and our new opportunities. And that, to Eva's point, those are your past clients, right? That's your sphere of influence. That's your current clients. So these people know you, they trust you, they already experienced your service. But these are the ones that get followed up the least because they already gave you their business. And with your current clients, and by the way, the past clients, your sphere of influence, every 90 days, once a quarter. That's all you have to do. So let them know you're alive, you're still in the business. You're not selling them anything, but you want to be the person that they introduce when somebody says, I'm thinking about real estate.
What does that conversation look like usually for you?
It's hey, I've got people moving into your neighborhood, and I want to ask you, what restaurant would you recommend? It's not about real estate. It's not, or it could be about when's the last time somebody sent you a valuation of your property. It's been 4 years you owned this property. I remember you bought this type of loan, right? Maybe we could get rid of that PMI now. You want to be of value, but you just want to have that conversation. Opportunity comes with the conversation. You just want to be top of mind. That's it.
I love it. Show of hands or chime in the chat. How many people are already crushing follow-up in their business? Or do people feel like they have some room for improvement?
We all do. Even if we think we're awesome at it, and there's some people that are absolute, and their production tells, right? Like you'll look at an agent and they're $500,000, they're like a $250,000 producer. But when you actually take a look at their database, you see what is missing, and they could be a $2 million producer. if they followed up with every single thing. Okay. So from here, this is where we go and fill our pipeline. So if we don't have enough people in the pipeline, what we need are new people to talk to. And that's where we're going to do our circle prospecting, calling around transactions, our FISBOs, our expireds, our list pendencies. So this is where we go if you don't have enough in your database and you need more. Have those conversations, bring them in, and set that automation up. This is done. We're going to go close the loop. First thing we want to do is just make sure all our notifications are at 0. The text, the showing request, the listing inquiries, market reports, those call to action replies, the people that viewed our listings, people returning to our website, clear all those out. Start the next day at 0. And then very important is set up any of those automations. The automations create that data loop. They bring people back to the website that interact, that show you they're interested, and they show you that they should be priority. You want to prepare for appointments. And then again, check around. Do I have somebody that I scribbled on a piece of paper that I need to get into my database? Do not lose any of those people. And some of us coming in might say, you know what? My CRM's a mess. Like, this is too much to take care of at one time. I didn't have this set up to begin with. How do I do that? We need to understand that consistency will beat intensity every single time. So I don't want you to go out there and call everybody in one day. I want you to divide it up. I want you to make it manageable. Think about it. If you have these hot leads and your goal is to call them every 7 days, you don't want the 7th day to come and then be like, oh man, I got to call 140 leads all today because I promised I'd keep this system going. What you want to do is divide those leads into 5 working days. Say you have 35 leads, 35 hot leads. So instead of calling them all in one day, you divide them by 35. Right? You divide the 35 by 5 and call 7 today. For the next 5 days, you're going to be calling 7 at a time. So you'll always have a rolling list. That's how you're going to be able to get through this thing in an hour and a half. You're going to do the same thing with your nurtures. If you know you're supposed to call them every 30 days, there's 22 working days in a 30-day time frame. So you divide it and you just call those number of people. So every day you're going after your hots, your nurtures, your watches. And we could all think that we're doing this stuff, but how do you know that it's getting done? Every single month, you send out a scorecard. Okay? And this thing is scary to look at because it really shows you what's going on in your business. It shows you where the opportunities are. And you could be an amazing agent, but there's always something in here that you could improve. All right? So this is a scorecard of an agent that is very active in the database. But what are some areas of opportunities that you guys see here? What do you see that you could improve on or this agent could improve on?
So could be improved on the calling for the people who is not qualified.
Yes. So what they did was they attempted contact. They put 50 people in this unqualified stage or status, and they didn't call them back. The big thing that I see here are all the new leads, all the people that are labeled new. I only label them new for the first day that they're in the database. Because then by then I've called, text, and emailed them. I've made my attempt at contact. Then what I'll do is I'll have them in the unqualified section. And when they're in unqualified, they should be going through, Ben Kinney calls it 10 days of pain, where you're reaching out to them every day for 10 days to try to qualify them. So this agent has 197 people in the new status, but they're not actually new because he spoke to a bunch of, there's only 26 of them, which he didn't speak to, which that's a high number. 26 of them he didn't attempt to contact. What else do you see here?
See that there's not a lot of past clients, so possibly not updating their database to reflect.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, this is a newer agent.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a ton of past client deals to call. So he's still building his database. But yeah, good catch. A big problem is not using it fully, using it halfway. Oh, I do some of my calls with my cell phone. The rest I use the dialer. What is that? Right? If you don't have it all in here, if you don't have it all recorded, then you're missing out. I think it's great that he's got 16 people that are viewing market reports in the last 30 days, but 6 of them haven't received calls from him. We've got 29 website visitors, 17 haven't received calls. The people that are put in the nurture and watch stage, he is calling some of them, but he's missing a bunch of opportunity.
Quick question, is your dialer built into Brevity or you use? Yeah, it is.
Everything is built in. And these reports are something that our administrative team, our leadership team, we put together for every team member every single month. And what's great about this is each one of these links brings them back to their database with the filters already set up so they could improve on that right away.
What dialer do you use?
We use a Brevity dialer
It's
built
built
into the
into
Brevity
the
Built
Brevity.
in. Yeah.
Got it.
All right. So you'll be able to see those overdue tasks. He's throwing a lot of tasks up there. Maybe he's not checking them off that he completed it. But having this really allows us to look into our business and say, okay, what are we doing right? What are we maybe not doing so right? Only 32% of the time. I'm sorry?
Vincent, do you think this can be done on the wall trail also? This can be tracked there?
I think it could be done anywhere.
Okay.
Because every single one of these CRMs have the ability to allow you to put the right status in the right stage, and they allow you to filter your leads. So if you're able to do those few things, just save that filter as each of the priority. So save the hot leads as priority 1. Okay, so every day you're going to click on that hot lead, and hopefully they'll have the, was not called in the last 7 days option in your filter, so that you just narrow down that list. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you use, you should be able to set something like this up and create for yourself that routine. You get through that routine, and what happens is it allows you to turn over your database every 6 months. Imagine if we were able to call through everybody in our database every 6 months. Now, this agent does a ton of calls. A ton of calls. All right, so you're looking at, what are we looking at? In the last 30 days, 3,000 calls.
Good for them.
A lot,
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah.
But where are they directed? They might be directed more towards trying to get new business when we're ignoring the business that's already in our database. So you could go out there and pay for leads, which we've all done, or some of us have done, right? But what happens is when they come in, they're not ready. So we're hoping that somebody's going to call in, they're ready financially and, emotionally ready, and just everything lines up. But usually that's not the case. So a lot of times I think I would rather have, a database that's set up properly than get a ton of these new leads coming in. I'd rather have somebody in my database that's been sitting there for 18 months, seeing my face every time we send them a market report, every time we send them a listing alert. They see that branding. We've gotten calls. I have a listing that's coming to market in 2 weeks. We're photographing it tomorrow. They came because they received a listing alert from us. And I check, you've been in my database since 2021. And I've been sending you listings. And the phone call from them was, I'm looking to sell. They weren't even a buyer. They were a seller. So get this all set up, go through it, and you'll win the day every single day. Hour and a half if you set this up well. Okay? And you repeat Monday to Friday. Turn over your database.
I'm especially curious about the dialer because it sounds like that's how you really integrate this. Because all of us, I think, can, more or less go to pick whatever CRM we're using. We can manually upload contacts. We can import contacts. We can have it sync with our, social media, our website, et cetera, and have it bring in incoming leads. So there's I think that is a little maybe more self-explanatory. But when it comes to setting up the dialer, first of all, is it coming from your number?
No, but it goes to my phone. So
Okay.
that's the important distinction. When I say people are kind of half in and half out, it's kind of like you'll get a lead and you'll decide I'm going to call them on my cell phone, right? I'm
Right.
calling everybody from my cell phone, but I'm doing it through the system.
Dialer.
Yeah, through the
Because
dialer.
otherwise it's not trackable. If you just do it
Correct.
from your cell phone, it's not trackable.
Yeah. So if you guys search me online, you'll probably find my CRM number and not my cell phone number. I try to get rid of it everywhere. Now, I've been in business for 26 years and I've only been using this system for like 5 years. So I might still have my other number floating around, but if somebody calls me from there, I'm going to make sure they're in the CRM and I'm going to call them from the CRM number so that I
So you
could
have an
track
app
it.
on your phone and you do it through
Yeah.
that app to call them.
Yeah. And that app is built into the CRM. I mean, don't all CRMs have dialers now? Some of them you have to pay a little extra for, but I would say they're completely worth it.
Yeah, I'm almost certain Bold Trail has a dialer. Definitely no Go High Level has a dialer. We don't have it set up,
Yeah.
so this is like totally new space for us. For me anyway. I'm sure a lot of people on the call can relate, but it's definitely really interesting to kind of hear it laid out like that because sometimes you hear people talk about this and they don't have the opportunity to ask these really specific questions. Okay, like how do I actually set this up and do
Yeah.
this?
Right. Right. Yeah. And Brivity is available. So if you guys want to buy Brivity and want me to introduce you to the rep, I'm happy to do that. It's great for teams, but it's also great for solo agents.
I'm kind of curious if people don't mind in the chat chiming in and letting us know what CRM are you using? Are you using Bold Trail? Is it maybe Follow Up Boss or Go High Level,
Lofty or Chime.
Lofty?
But I'd like to ask, what's the average cost for a CRM monthly? We've never, I mean, Brevity in the past used to be years ago. I'm not saying it is now, but years ago it was pretty pricey. I don't know if it's different now. And also, I just want to add that, we in the past we only used our dialers, the idea of a dialer for the cold calling. This is a really interesting way to use it.
Um, I use it for everything, and partially why I use it for everything is because then in my CRM, I'm able to see, I just did a deal and I was taking a look at, you know, I was texting the client and I was like, wow, during this transaction, we had 147 texts. I hopped on the phone with you, 38 times. I sent 18 emails to get this deal from whenever you were a prospect to a client to closed. It's real insightful. And then now
Well,
when you have AI, it's all kind of built in now. So you're able to use it and have it translate your lead for you. It'll tell you what the action item is. Like I'm able to go in and say, okay, give me a good text, like non-salesy text that I could send to this client to get them to want to book an appointment with me this weekend. And it'll read everything, it'll make it relatable to them. So I'm not just reading a general script.
Yeah. Like
But
I
I
said,
invite everybody,
really,
let's stay connected. If you guys have questions, reach out to me. I'm pretty accessible. I'll answer any questions you have. You don't have to use the same thing that we use. It's the idea around it. All right. And it might take you a few more steps because you have to log off this to log into something else, but it doesn't matter. If you're getting your CRM free from EXP, lean into it. The problem is that agents are using their CRM like a Rolodex or like a contact manager, but they don't have anything set up where it creates real opportunity for you. You don't need a Rolodex. You got your phone contacts,
yeah,
right?
we got a kind of a mixed bag on what different CRMs people are using. So I would recommend that everyone on here who's really motivated to set up their CRM in the way that Vincent has described, Google like Bold Trail Dialer, Follow Up Boss Dialer, Lofty Dialer, Go High Level Dialer. And read a lot of these CRMs have pretty good like FAQ pages that teach you how to actually set up that dialer number. And then you can start to integrate that into your existing CRM. We use Bold Trail and Go High Level. And I would say Bold Trails is great in the sense that it's really built for agents to communicate with clients, but Go High Level is like highly capable of doing a lot of different things that I think exceeds what you can get on like a bold trail. So if you're interested in learning more about Go High Level, feel free to message me and I'm happy to, we can explore it together. Take some time to try and figure out, how can we duplicate what Vincent is doing on Go High Level. But does anyone have any burning questions that they want to ask? We've still got 10 minutes left, so we can either give you a little time back or can take some time to address some questions. Don't
I
feel
already
shy.
asked a million questions, so
And just know that you're on mute, so if you do want to ask a question, you have to take yourself off.
Yeah. So if anybody, like I showed you guys a presentation, but if anybody wants to ever hop on a call, we could find some time and I could actually let you look into our system. So
there is
that,
a question in the
yeah,
chat.
Is there a site?
Is there a site for the AI script practice?
there is an app or a program. I think it's called like Maverick.
Maverick?
Yeah, I think it's called Maverick. Like the one we use is built into our CRM, so we don't have to go elsewhere. But there's a lot of other teams that have like a separate thing that does exactly the same thing of all like what I've been describing.
Colby, do you remember at the
Yeah,
LA
we
event?
we saw a presentation at an event recently where someone actually got up there and had a, fake role play conversation with ChatGPT voice.
Hmm.
And it was just a back and forth. And what's important if you're using like an AI tool like Chat or Claude or Gemini, making sure that when you tell the chat bot that you're going to be entering into a role play scenario, you have to let it know that you want it to be like a little skeptical, like challenge me, push back a little, but if I say the right things, then allow me to book the appointment. So as you're having that conversation with the voice AI, make sure that you just prep it for what you want it to give you. Otherwise, it's going to be too easy or too hard.
Yeah. So let me see if I could, and I'm having that share issue right now again. But I
Mhm.
wanted to kind of pull it up so that you could see it. You know what? Maybe I could just share my entire
Sometimes the Zoom screen share can be a little finicky.
Colby, we should probably, I don't know how many people here would be interested, but even Vincent, I know you said it helps with accountability and not having to have another person there, but this is the kind of thing that you can do with somebody else. So you're still accountable to showing up, but you're both learning from the
Yeah.
interaction with AI because the objections were pretty amazing.
Yeah. So you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes,
So I have a team member that has done 214 AI calls,
nice.
27
Practicing.
hours on. In fact, he's got a clean sweep with the most calls, the most time, the longest streak, and all that stuff. So it's amazing. But what you could see here is you have all of the different scenarios. You got a potential seller, you got a long-term renter in your sphere, and you want to show them the value of home ownership. You've got your entire listing presentation. So not only are you doing the calls for the appointment, you could actually role play a listing presentation with a seller, a buyer consultation. I've got recruiting appointments built in, people that are shopping for rates.
That's great.
Yeah, and if you want to, I'm just gonna throw them on. So hopefully you did good here.
Yeah, it looks like with a quick Google, like it does look like Maverick and Mojo Dialer
Yeah,
do probably have paid AI role play dialers where you, or not dialer, role play, script practice where you could opt in to practice scripts, whether it just be for you or it's something that you provide to your team. Um, but you can definitely do this for free on Chat, Gemini, Claude. Just use the voice feature and give it a proper prompt.
Good
yeah.
morning.
So if you want to listen to it, it's
Good morning, Howard. This is Kenny Williams with eXp Realty.
Good morning, Kenny. I'm sorry, is this about my property? I've had quite enough of real estate calls lately.
Hey, look, yes, I was definitely calling about your home that showed up as an expired listing. I was just wondering if it sold or is it still available?
Yeah, it's still available. It's been quite the experience. 3 months
Great,
now, no. It's still sitting there. Frankly, I'm getting rather tired of the whole process.
great. I mean, look, is your property still something that you do need to sell?
Still available, yes. I am looking for a different approach this time around, though. Something that actually works.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, every single call is different, but it is so amazing. Like I'll have agents that listen to their calls and they're like, that's not me. Like I can't even imagine that I made the other person feel this way in how I was communicating. But it gives you a lot of actionable advice, alternative phrases that you could use, what you did well, scores you on everything. So, I think it's
Yeah, that
it's an
feedback
incredible
that
tool.
was there, like missed emotional cues. The client was clearly fatigued, and the agent didn't, kind of go deep enough with them about some of their frustrations. Like that's pretty helpful feedback to get when you're trying to figure out how to connect with clients over difficult, complex issues.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey
Awesome.
guys, I just want to mention if anybody's local on Wednesday from 10 to 11:30, we have our monthly coffee hour in White Plains. If anybody wants more info, just reach out to me.
Yes, and in addition to the in-person New York coffee hour, right now I'm going to drop in the chat the next two calls that we have coming up. So we're doing a bonus call this Wednesday on growing your social media and also developing confidence on camera. We're bringing on an author who has grown a huge social media following, as well as a TV host from Canada who's going to train on building confidence on camera. So that's Wednesday. And then Monday, March 23rd, our bi-monthly mastermind, we are talking about growing your business from across the country using YouTube lead gen systems, scripts, etc. So links are there. If anyone needs Vincent's contact information, I mean, he already shared his Instagram, so you have him there. But if anyone wants to, connect with him on a more personal level, reach out to me. I can put you in touch. This recording will be on YouTube, so you can rewatch it, relook at the slides, kind of integrate some of this at a slower pace that works for you. And if anyone has questions about Bold Trail or Go High Level, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If anyone's like, wow, I need brevity, obviously Vincent is your guy to talk to. But we're here to help. I know some of this stuff can feel a little overwhelming, and you look at someone like Vincent who's been doing this for 5 years, and you're like, wow, oh my gosh, how do I get there? But it's baby steps. It's starting to, do your own research, figure out what works for you, and build it in, slowly but surely over time so that it can really make this work for you.
Colby, I wanted to just to add that, yeah, maybe I've been doing for 5, 6 years, kind of running this team thing. But before that, when I was a broker, I was out of production for 10 years. 10 years, zero transactions. I'd give it all away to the brokerage. So I had to start from the beginning. So a lot of these things I had to relearn myself in practice. Okay, so it's not impossible to do. You just have to get started and make that decision. That's it.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much
Vincent,
for
for
your time.
sharing.
Of course, my
Thanks.
Thank you.
pleasure. Hopefully it was helpful.
Thank you so much.
Very much so.
All right,
Bye,
thanks
guys.
everyone. Have a good
We'll
one.
see
Thank
you
you.
hopefully this Wednesday. Have a great week. Thanks,
You
Vincent.
All
too.
right,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.